Hey, it's Joe. This last video in the outrageous claims for real estate investing that I've been making over the past decade or so about real estate investing and about the stuff that I teach. This last one is how to sell 15 to 25% of your properties in 24 hours using and building a buyer list. The goal here is that if you have a nice sized buyer's list of people that are interested in buying rent to buy, whenever you get a new lease option memo signed, you can send out an email to them, just a broadcast email, one email to everybody with pictures in it, with links to your website, to your listing site, if you're using the clone site, that has information about the property and also information about how you can buy it and how they can get into it and all that stuff. And when you send out an email like this to your list, the bigger your list, the faster it'll sell. Now, we find that a lot of times people that are on the list, it's not going to sell that's not going to sell your property every time. If you're working with investors, that's a different story. I can sell almost every time to an investor list simply because I've got a good investment property to sell. But a lease option, I need somebody who's ready to go right then and there, and not everybody on your list is going to be ready to go right then and there. But I find that on average, between 15 and 25% of if you have a list of 500 people or more, usually when you get to that 500 person point on your buyer's list to 1,000, you're going to be getting 15 to 25% of your lease option deals are going to sell, within a day, 2 days at the most. And so that's a really nice thing to have. It doesn't take that long to build that list. The way you're going to build that list is not, we used to build it by using generic ads and by using signs, rent to buy signs, and just get people to call in and then put them on the list. But it was so time consuming, and it works, and it builds your list very quickly, and you can put those ads on Craigslist. I have 5 properties for sale, rent to buy, between 170 and 250, and if you're interested, for the free list, go here, and it takes them to the rent to buy buyer's site that explains how it works. They fill out that form, puts them on the list automatically without you having to do it. So you could do those things. But what I would suggest, rather than spending a lot of time at the beginning on doing that, just get out there, talk to the sellers, get the lease option memo signed. As soon as you have that, then get specific properties up there on Craigslist instead of the generic ad, and have them calling you or your buyer finder and getting their email address and then putting them on there onto your email list. When you have a lease option memo and you're advertising, you're going to be getting 5, 15, 25, 100 calls a week on that specific property, and you have 3 or 4 of these properties going. It's not going to be long, before you have 100, 200, 500, 1,000 people on this list. Within a month or two after you start advertising properties for sale, you're going to have a big list, and that list is going to be it's going to make it a lot easier for you to sell future properties. Now, as I said again, it's not going to sell all your properties this way, but 15 to 25% is a lot more than you might think it is. It makes your job so easy, and they're already sold on you. You don't have to do anything really, because they already have so much information about you. As soon as they go on your list, they start getting a series of emails that explain to them how lease to own works, what they need to do to qualify, what they need to do to buy, the benefits of it, who you are, the link to your website, and what you're going to do when they're on this list. You're going to send them an email. You get a new lease option, you're going to send it out right away, and they may not buy it that week, but you're going to send that out again next week and the following week. So if you've got, say, 5 lease option memos that you're trying to sell, you send out one every day, a different one every day, a different house. And then the second week you start out, do it over again, and you just keep sending these people. They can unsubscribe from your list simply by clicking a link at the bottom of your email, and it'll take them off the list, and they'll never hear from you again if they want to do that. But if they want to see the properties that you have, you can keep sending them the same thing. And a lot of times they won't look at the first email, but they might look at it and see it again the next week or the third week, or they might have been looking for a property, not found anything, and then they come back to you and say, maybe this is the right property, maybe we do want this one, and then you get it sold that way. So use that follow-up system, use that process, use that list building system in order to make these deals work. All right, hope that helps.